antagonistic relationship between like actual journalists in the Pentagon and maybe lead to more critical reporting than we've had
Where do
previously because
you
these
think
folks
it'll
aren't on the
take
inside.
us?
Say
I'll turn
again?
that. Where do you think that takes us?
I think it creates a separation that can maybe lead to more antagonism and criticism from the press on the Pentagon. But kind of as you said, it also makes it really a lot more difficult to develop those relationships with sources inside the Pentagon, which are, essential. It's not just about ripping on the Pentagon, right? It's about finding facts and telling the truth. And you probably need some people on the inside, and that probably becomes more difficult, I'd imagine, if you're not in there.
I think it's a double-edged sword, and they call it access journalism, and to some extent, that's correct. You have to have access. You just can't do your job unless you're able to talk to people. But in this case, I also think it leads to some better reporting because you're going to have to go out and dig up those sources and
Mm.
do some of the things that we used to do well that we don't do as well collectively today, but individually, there are still individuals who shine. And I say that about the White House and the Pentagon. There are still those who do the job the old fashioned way and don't care what other people think, but there's few and far between. What it could lead to is if you've got a source, if you've got a whistleblower, if you've got someone who's angry, it's going to be a lot harder to find out who they are if you're not meeting with them at the Pentagon or
Yeah.
at the White House. But since you've been kicked off you've been kicked off the campus, do they know where you're going to meet your sources? Do they know how? And those sources, if you have someone who wants to reach out, they will. And the Pentagon can make it as difficult as possible. But I mean, the Pentagon paper, hell, you see Seymour Hersh, his big story in the My Lai massacre didn't occur for any other reason than a random tip.
Hmm.
Those will still take place. So you're making it more difficult for the reporter, but conversely, you're making it more difficult for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a double-edged sword. So how it plays out will be interesting to see. But I don't think any of this bodes well for the country or bodes well for journalism or bodes well for those in government. They may think it does, and it may for a short period of time. But overall, I don't think it's not a tenable position. It's like putting yourself out on a tree limb and going, I'm going to saw this off the tree. Leave me alone. Okay, you do that.